What's going on, guys? It's Filthy and I'm back with another video. Today's topic is going to be why now is a fantastic time to come back to Diablo 3. Now maybe you played vanilla and you went away and never came back. Maybe you played Reaper of Souls for a bit, went away and never came back. Or maybe you've just missed the last few seasons and want to know, is the game in a good state? Is it worth coming back? This video is aimed at all those people trying to get them back into the game, because I think this game is in a really good spot at the moment. I'm going to go over why. Now maybe if you've never played, if you've never picked the game up, this will also be a useful video for you. I'll try and mix up the gameplay in the background and I'll link any builds in the description, but give you a bit of a showcase of some of the things that are going on at the moment. And before we jump in, I just want to welcome everyone who's new to the channel. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And as always, a thumbs up is greatly appreciated. Now before we get to a few of the reasons why I think it's a brilliant time to be involved in Diablo 3, obviously guys, I've got a personal bias in this. I love this game, it's my favourite game of all time. I play it pretty much every day. I'm so passionate that I've created a channel about it. I own the game on 3 separate systems, PC, Xbox and now Nintendo Switch. And I've got probably about equal playtime across PC and console, and it's a game that I really do truly love. But with that said, let's jump into a few of the reasons why I think this game is in a brilliant state at the moment. So the first reason is seasons. Now seasons have obviously been around for quite some time for Diablo 3. We're on season 18 at the moment. We're about 2 weeks in when I record this. Now some of the original season themes were not very good, but the last 3 in particular I think have been really nice. Now I really enjoyed last season, the season of Nightmares, and I also really enjoyed the Rogue season, the Ring of Royal Grandeur. And basically they were revolving around giving you in-game buffs that were already in the game, but you got them for free. And you did get some extra builds out of those seasons, so it kind of increased the number of viable builds in the game, which was really nice. Looking at this current season theme, we've got the season of Triune, so we've got power rings on the ground that either give us more damage, more cooldown, more resource cost reduction. And it's nice because it's a slight change in the gameplay. I found pushing has been a lot more palatable as a casual player this season, because I know I can hop into these rings and get a little bit of a power boost. It's created a kind of little mini game in a push. I've got to jump in the correct ring at the correct time. I've got to decide, is it worth it? Should I go for it? Should I not? So it has mixed up the gameplay a little bit, and I've really enjoyed it. Now I am quite excited because the last season they actually integrated now into the main game in the form of a legendary gem. And more on that in a little bit later, because I think that's a separate reason why this game is in a good state. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if this current season theme makes its way in, maybe as a ring, maybe as a gem, something maybe your follower could equip. And I kind of like this, it's kind of taken from Path of Exile a little bit, trying some things in the game for a few months, seeing whether they're good and integrating them in the main game. So I think the season themes at the moment, the last few have been really nice. So I think the future ones will also be exciting. I think there might be some game mechanics that change. And I do think that they've hinted quite heavily in the blog post that they put out that we're going to be pushing the envelope with some of these. So season themes at the moment, really enjoying them. And I think they're only going to get better. Now another reason I think that it's a brilliant time to get into this game is because the current state of the classes is actually pretty good. Now I'm sure anybody involved in the game might well be thinking, what the hell are you talking about? Veers is so OP and really strong. But what I mean this is from a casual player perspective. I know I can pick up any class and I can pretty much get to GR 100. I've got to put some work in. I can't just put the gear on and automatically I can do it. I've got to level some Paragon, I've got to find some decent pieces, and I've got to maybe do some augments for some of the classes. But every class is capable, and I think what I've found, particularly since playing over the last, 8 seasons, I'm hitting the wall a lot further into the season. Even though I'm probably playing the game at this point in my life the most I've ever played it, I'm reaching that wall a lot later, and I think that's because the power creep has actually extended the tier system to an extent. Because the tiers go further, we can get a lot more playtime out of the season before we hit that brick wall, and it does become a little frustrating. Now don't get me wrong, Veers is certainly the most powerful and easiest build to pick up, but again, maybe that's not such a bad thing. If you're a returning player, if you want to get onto a really strong build, then you can pick up the wizard and you can feel like an absolute god playing that build. And I think that is kind of nice that there is something that is so ultra powerful and an easy go-to. Now I probably would like the game to be a little bit more balanced, but I do think that it doesn't almost matter which class you pick now. Any class can clear GR 100. just with a little bit of time. I think that's a really cool state for the game to be in. And one of the other really nice things that patch 2.6.6 brought us was some item buffs and some also craftable set buffs. So now a lot of sets that weren't particularly great, particularly for pushing or for speed farming, have been augmented, let's say, by these extra items that you can take. So you can now craft recipes that make, for instance, Unhallowed Essence, the Demon Hunter build, go very far. You can put them on Whirlwind for the Barbarian. Khan's Condemned Crusaders now really strong. And actually this last patch, I'm so surprised at just the actual impact that all of these items have had. And again, it's just fantastic because there are so many options, I think, now to go quite high with builds. Fine, there will always be something that's top of the pile, but if you want to clear high level content, there are lots of different options and lots of different builds that you can try, and I do think it is in a very good state. Now also coming with 2.6.6, as mentioned earlier, was the Legacy of Dreams gem. Now this is a fantastic addition to the game because what it allows you to do is every season, if you don't want to go down the route of sets, you can get this gem from doing Greater Rifts, and once it drops, you've got complete build freedom. You can collect your legendary items, you can grow in power as you level the gem. And last season for the Legacy of Nightmares, it was so much fun just getting the character to 70, just working with the items that dropped in the game. It felt like kind of classic Diablo. You put stuff together, you mix the multipliers, and you went off. So if, let's say, the sets aren't for you, if that's one of the reasons why you left the game, well, now with this gem in it, every season, if you want to, you can completely forget the season journey, you can forget the sets, and you can go off and make your own bespoke character. Obviously that's not an efficient thing to do, it's more efficient generally to go and get the sets, but I like the fact that the option's there, and I like the fact that I can mix and match things. And given that they've said that they are going to add more legendary powers to different effects, we're going to get more items, we're going to get more buffs. I do think that Legacy of Dreams offers us really interesting builds, and I think there is such huge scope to open up into pretty much any skill in the game at this point. So from that point of view, I'm very hopeful about the future. I think you could end up in the state not too far where lots of skills, in fact almost every skill in the game, is viable. It's certainly a framework that you can use with the legendary gem, the Legacy of Dreams, so it is really exciting and it's really nice. And one of the more recent changes is the addition of Torment level 16. So again, depending on when you left the game, this might not have been in there. I was against it initially. My initial reaction was you were probably going to kill build diversity because T13 is a long way down from T16. But actually, again, with the item buffs, with some of these rework sets and the craftable items, there are quite a lot of builds that will clear T16. Again, every class can do it, it just does take a little bit of work. But actually the upside of it for me has been tremendous. We get more keys, we get more resources, you get more materials. And again, I've played this game so much over the last few months and I haven't found myself wanting really for materials. I've always had them at my grasp, and I think that is because we have had T16. So that has been a really positive change. I don't feel like it's a grind to get keys anymore. I don't feel like I'm constantly looking for DBs to upgrade items. I do feel very much like whatever it is that I need, I've generally got it in my inventory. And if I play the game enough, I've got enough mats, and it's not like I'm having to go out of my way to swap things over or to specifically farm this resource or specifically farm that resource. And that's really nice because what it's enabled me to do is just blast some keys and then go and do GRs. And that's what I love about this game, it's doing the GRs. So again, T16 and having loads of materials has actually made this game so much more fun for me. I enjoyed it anyway, but I have really enjoyed the last couple of seasons since T16 has been added. Now obviously if you've been away for a while, you might have missed the whole primal thing. I mean, that's, you know, they've been added in the game a while, and it's basically just an item that drops as ancient but with perfect stats. Now again, it was something that bothered me a little bit because I never really felt like there was the kind of reward for it. I would have liked maybe if there was something extra that we got from salvaging it. But I do think one of the subtle changes that they made a little while ago is really nice. We now get an indicator on the map, we get a red beam that pops up from the item, and I'm always excited to find one. My first one this season was great, and unfortunately everyone I've found since then has sucked, but I still get excited every time I see the red beam because I don't know what it's going to be. And I'm really hoping to find a few more from a build, and again, it's just that extra little level of excitement. It sounds silly, it's a game that I play for quite a lot of time during the season, but it's those little moments when the primal drops You're looking at it and going, is that the item I want? And again, that little level of excitement, just for me, really makes the game nice. So that probably pretty much covers the kind of state of the game at the moment and reasons why I think it's positive. But let's be realistic. One of the main reasons that now is a good time to come back is because the content that we're getting, the patches, the changes, do seem to be coming every sort of 3 months. And with the recent blog post, we now know that every class is going to get a brand new set. And that's tremendous news, because Blizzard surely will be buffing some skills that aren't used. So every set in the game will probably go to a skill that isn't used in the class. So, you know, for example, Necro, looking at the revive skill where you reanimate corpses into monsters and they go off and fight your battle for you. You know, a wizard build using the Cyclops laser eye beams, convergence or divergence or whatever that skill is. You know, each class will have skills that are underutilized, and I think Blizzard are going to pick one, probably one that looks really cool, because at this point the game has been going for so long. I think you're better off just going for your show-stopping skills, and I do think that these 7 sets will add at least 7 new builds. And if you think about it, a lot of sets can generally do 2 or 3 different things. There are different build variations, so we could end up maybe with 21, 28 brand spanking new, completely new builds as these sets get added. Now, we don't know if the sets are all going to come at once. We don't know if they're going to be drip fed, 1 or 2 per season. I'm happy with either way. You know, content's content. I'm really excited for it. I never thought we'd get new sets at this stage of the game, and to me it just shows that Blizzard does have an ongoing commitment to this game. It's not in maintenance mode, it's not been shelved. There will be new things coming, and that's kind of what gets me really excited, because Diablo 4 is surely on the horizon. BlizzCon will probably announce it fairly soon, but in the meantime it means we've got some really cool Diablo 3 things to look forward to. So not only is the game in a good state, I think we're going to get more things, because that's what they've told us. And fine, BlizzCon last time around was a bit of a cock-up, but I don't think at the moment they're going to say we're going to give you new sets and they're not going to turn up. So I'm really excited that we're going to get extra builds to play. I can't wait to get them all. So guys, that pretty much wraps up my thoughts. I do think this game is in a very good state. I think if you've never played it before, it's still casual and friendly enough to pick up. There's enough help out there. You know, there's plenty of build guides on the internet. The game does a good job of holding your hand for newer players. And if you're coming back, I just think there's hours of entertainment in here. There's so many more builds that you can play, lots of diversity. As I say, Viz is definitely top, but there are lots of different things that you can try. So if you're coming back, I'd welcome you with open arms to the game. It's in a great state. I'm just so happy with it. So that's pretty much it, guys. I think this game is in a great spot. I'm really enjoying playing it. I do think that the changes have been positive, and I'm really hopeful for more positive changes in the future. So maybe I've convinced anybody sitting on the fence, should have come back, should have not. It'd be great to see you in Sanctuary. This game really is in a good place. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave me a thumbs up. Feel free to comment with any thoughts, any reasons why you enjoy the game, or anything you think that they can make better. And yeah, get involved. So hopefully I will see you in Sanctuary, and if not, maybe in the next video. Take it easy. Peace.